Welcome, I'm the De-Stressing Dad, and this is my guide to villager trading. In this guide I'm going to go over the basics of the villager trading and the way I set it up, and some of the trades and some of the hints and tips that I've gathered over the time of playing this game. We'll probably go into 4 sections, the first section being villager breeding. I'm not going to show you a tutorial on building a villager breeder, but we'll talk about the breeding. We'll then talk about the zombification and curing of villagers and how that improves the prices you get when you trade with them. We'll then go over the 13 of villagers here that you can see behind me, what sort of trades they've got, and think about emerald generation, and then get into some of the mechanics of kind of dealing with librarians and getting the books you want and dealing with some of the other guys. So let's get into it. Let's first of all talk about breeding. Behind me you can see an infinite villager breeder. Why is this an infinite villager breeder? Well, if you leave it alone and don't touch it, these guys will continue to breed while this area is loaded in the game. The way this works is, well, they eat some carrots. There's 2 guys in there, you can see them. They share some carrots, and when they feel like, hey, we're good buddies, they will make a baby. And then they'll keep doing that, no matter what. It is important for breeding villagers that you have more than 2 beds, because the baby needs a bed. And if there's more than 2 beds and these guys can get to those beds, then they get enough food, they will make a baby. Simple. I do show you how to build this in one of my Dad Survives Minecraft episodes. I'll put a card up as long as I remember, and I'll link to it in the description of how you build this. But in essence, this is villager breeding. There are many different types of designs. This one is the one I use because it's good, infinite, and doesn't take too many resources. You can set this up early game. But there are ones where you get 2 villagers stood on top of a fence post and you throw carrots at them or potatoes and then they breed and it drops through. That's more manual. There are other systems for getting the carrots to them. Many systems. This is the one I like. This is the one I use in most of my worlds. And as you can see behind me, you get lots and lots of villagers coming out of this. So like I said, as long as they've got access to more than 2 beds and they've got an infinite supply of food, they will breed. It is that simple. But what do you do with all the babies? Well, let's talk about prices, trading, and how we get those prices better. So here we are at the 13 villagers. Let's look at the farmer. Okay, composter in front of this guy. As long as a villager can get to a composter, he'll turn into a farmer. And if you right click on them, you get to see their trades. Now this guy is a master. They go through different levels. The more you trade with them, the further the levels are. They start off with these first 2, and then you trade with them, they open up more and more and more until they're master, and then you get the fully unlocked. Trades can be different at the start. So this guy started with potatoes. Sometimes a farmer will start with carrots, sometimes they'll start with wheat. This guy started with potatoes. The price is the 26. So 26 potatoes gets me 1 emerald. So look at this, pumpkins, 6 pumpkins get me 1 emerald. 4 melons gets me 1 emerald. We can make these prices better. The more you trade with them, the prices come down a little. But if you turn them into a zombified villager and then cure them, well, their prices come down a lot. So that's what this setup is. So let's have a look at the mechanics of this. I'll show you this in a bit more detail, but if essentially out pops a minecart and comes up here, scooping up one of the villagers, drops him in front of this zombie who attacks him. Because we're on hard difficulty, you're guaranteed that he will turn into a zombified villager. If you're not on hard, there is a chance these guys die. So if you're playing on hard, you're good. If you're playing on easy or normal, you may have to go through more villagers to get this working. Once they turn into a zombified villager, the track sends them over to this bit where we can start the curing process. Now, to cure a villager, you need to hit them with the weakness effect, either through a potion or an arrow of weakness, and hit them with a golden apple. They then start to shake and shudder and starts happening. And after about 5 minutes, they turn back into a villager and their trade price is much, much better. So let's do this, right? The track layout here is important. They're standing on this block here and the track diagonally goes up through that block, and that's what picks up the villager. I explain a bit more about that in my villager breeder design. If I hit this button, pops a minecart up, grabs the villager, he falls in there, has turned into a zombified villager. Great, first stage. Press the button, send the track on its way, and he is now stuck in this area, can't get out. We'll just put a block there just in case. If I hit this, he gets hit with a weakness potion, and now if I hit him with a golden apple, quite a loud noise. Just going to put that block back there, and you can see him shaking, and he will turn back into a villager. I've put this block back here because they pop out of the minecart and I don't want my villager wandering off. So let's come back when he's cured. While we're waiting for him over there to cure up, let me explain the potions and this side of it, because this is where the resources are going to be needed. So this setup isn't necessary. You don't have to do this zombification. I like to do it because it really does make a difference to the prices these guys offer. So I wait until I've got enough resources to do this. Important resources you're going to need. You're going to need apples and lots of gold, because a golden apple is 1 apple in the middle and 8 gold bars all around it. So that's a lot of gold. And imagine if you want to get 10 or 15 villagers, you're going to need 10 or 15 golden apples, which is 80 bars of gold and 10 apples. So you've got to make sure you've got some sort of income of gold. Mining in mesas or mining in the nether is a good way to get gold. Killing pigmen as well. If you can set up yourself a pigman killer or a little gold farm, you'll get plenty of gold. So you definitely need gold and apples. Bear that in mind. Start storing them when you're playing. For brewing, you need to use brewing to make the potion of weakness. You are going to need a brewing stand, and that has a blaze rod in the recipe. It's not a complicated recipe, but you need blaze rods. So you've got to get to the nether, you've got to find a fortress, and you've got to start killing blazes. There are many tutorials on simple blaze farms. Get one set up. Get yourself an income of blaze rods. You don't need hundreds of blaze rods, because 1 blaze rod turns into 2 blaze powder, and you need, I would say, 12 to 20 blaze powder would probably cover you for the first 10 villagers. Okay? The other things you're going to need to make is the weakness potion. The weakness potion is a water bottle with a fermented spider eye in it. That's all it is. But a fermented spider eye is sugar, brown mushroom, and a spider eye on a crafting bench. So you've got to start collecting spider eyes. Find yourself a spider spawner. Start killing those spiders. Brown mushrooms, either from a mushroom island, breaking down the big brown mushrooms, or the roof of the nether, or in the nether, there's plenty. If you can get to the roof of the nether, I've shown you how to do that in a video already. Do it. Get to the roof and never start collecting brown mushrooms. Sugarcane. Start getting your sugarcane up and early. First thing. The other thing you're going to need is gunpowder, because you're going to turn your weakness potion into a splash potion of weakness. So get yourself some gunpowder through killing creepers. So this kind of leads us towards maybe needing a general mob farm, but not always. Maybe you want to think about that. These are the things you need to make sure you can go through this process over here. Quite a lot of setup needed. To brew, if you haven't seen how to brew, let's do that now. We're going to take these 3 water bottles. We are going to put them in the base here. I always do 3 at a time because you can do 3 with 1 ingredient. I've already got my blaze powder in here. If I didn't, put some blaze powder in there and this bar fills up. We will get our fermented spider eye and our gunpowder, and we are going to pop in the fermented spider eye first. Eventually, you see this bar progressing. That will turn it into the weakness potion. We'll just have to wait. How's our guy doing over there? Ah, look. He's turned back into a normal villager. We'll go over there in a minute and we'll sort out his trades. That's now turned into a weakness potion, and we want to make it a splash potion. So you add some gunpowder, and eventually this bar will get through and turn these into a splash potion. Bloop, 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 bloop. How long does it take? Not long at all. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And you can see now we've got 3 splash potions of weakness. Let's go over to this guy and see what we do about his trades. So, he's now a normal villager again. Luckily, villagers can pass through glass when they're in this thing, so I don't need to get rid of this glass. And I've set up a little track here that basically drops him here, because this is where I can start figuring out what sort of trader I want him to be. So let's get him out of there, and he'll drop down onto that block there, and now he's safe here. As long as there are no zombies around. I'm on a world, but I've turned mob spawning off. And we want to, say, turn this guy into a farmer, because one of the ways we're going to get some emeralds is by trading melons and pumpkins and or carrots with this guy. If I drop that down there and set the time to day, because it's in the middle of the night, they have certain things that they do certain things at certain times. So as long as it's during the day, the villagers should be able to see this eventually. Let me just get that out of the way. He will eventually pick up this as his workstation. These are called workstations, turning into a farmer, and we'll be able to trade with him. Come on. Come on. Let's put it there. One of the things you'll find about villagers is they're rather fun to play with, honestly. They can be quite stubborn. Let's try a different time. Come on. He will pick it up eventually. There he goes. Look at that. We now have a novice farmer, and you can see this guy is now, instead of 26 potatoes, there's 20 potatoes. So we've already got a discount. Now let's think about this. I've just built a carrot farm. I've got lots of carrots. I don't have any potatoes. I don't really want to trade potatoes. I want to trade carrots to start this guy off. So if I break this, he goes away, place it again, he'll pick it up again, I hope. Come on, dude. This is what I mean about villagers being a little bit stubborn. He's trying to get over to his mates over there. So let's make it impossible for him to get over to his mates over there. Come on. You just have to bear with this. I tend to put these guys, when I'm doing this bit, in a room where they definitely can't access anything else. And eventually he'll pick this up. There he goes. Now, it's now wheat. Okay, so we could cycle through this. I'm not going to do it, but we can do this again. We can break it, replace it, see what he's trading. Let's say we've got lots of wheat. Let's get some wheat. I would like some wheat, please. I'm going to get lots of wheat. Let's get rid of all of this stuff, and let's get lots of wheat. Now if I trade with him, if I click on this guy, I've now got 4 emeralds. Trade with him again, and you see this bar at the top? That's gone up now. It's filled up. If I come out of it, you'll see this little mark on him change. He is now an apprentice, and look, he's unlocked more. Do you remember how much this guy was for pumpkins? This guy is 6 pumpkins. But this guy, whoop, is 1 pumpkin for an emerald. So I'm basically converting my pumpkins into emeralds. Let's get some pumpkins. And let's get more than that, because we might need more than that. And let's trade. Let's get me some, look, and he's locked. Okay, so I can't get any more until he unlocks. But I've already upgraded him, so you'll see this will now change to gold. So he's gone from apprentice to journeyman, and we've now got melons. So I can convert melons and pumpkins into emeralds. So all I need now is a melon and pumpkin farm, and I can trade with this guy and convert them into emeralds. So we've covered over how to zombify and cure, and now how to start switching their trades. So let's now talk about your emerald generator. Emerald generating then. We have 13 different villagers that have different trades. They all start off with different starting trades, and they are normally the ones you are going to get emeralds from. So like we just saw, if I trade wheat with a farmer that's got wheat, I get an emerald. With this guy, I get emeralds if I trade potatoes or beetroot or pumpkins or melons. What I tend to do is think about what I have a lot of resources of, or what I've got ready, that mean I can get very easily lots of that thing. Melons and pumpkins is a good example. You can build a fairly simple melon and pumpkin farm and get emeralds from those melon and pumpkins. So I tend to use this guy. Okay, melon, pumpkins, for getting emeralds. I also, in my own personal worlds, tend to use this guy, a cleric. A cleric trades rotten flesh. If I've got a gold farm, or a general purpose mob farm, I'm getting a lot of rotten flesh, which is great. Free emeralds. They're not the best prices, but free emeralds. So I know in my early games where I'm going to get a melon and pumpkin farm going, I tend to get 10 of these guys together in an area, and I can trade away for emeralds. And I get 10 of these guys, and I can trade away the rotten flesh from my gold farm. So an actual use for rotten flesh. Now the benefit of using this guy is once he advances, he unlocks some very, very good things. What are those things? Well, they include XP. So this guy, once he's a master, he actually sells bottles o' enchanting, and if you've zombified, they are 1 emerald, maybe 5 emeralds, depending, and you are getting XP from your rotten flesh. So you convert your rotten flesh into your emeralds, or your melons and pumpkins into your emeralds, then you come back along and you trade those emeralds for XP. Okay, all of these guys have different trades at different levels, and I'll leave a link in the description to a very, very good chart that shows you all of the different trades that these guys have, because ultimately it depends what you have a lot of in your world. So let's look at this. Okay, the butcher, his early trades are chicken and mutton and things like that for emeralds. The fisherman, his early trades are string and coal. Well, if you've got a spider farm and you've got lots of string coming in, he might be worth doing. Okay. The librarian, his early trades are paper. And I'll keep going. Blast furnace, armourer, he has early trades. Normally, his early trades are for coal. But one of the good things about the armourer is he also trades iron ingots for emeralds once he's unlocked one level. He might be a good option. If you've already got an iron farm, he might be a good option for your emerald generator. Okay, I'll leave a link, like I said, in the description to the chart that shows all of these trades, because there are lots and lots of them. The important thing here is go through this process, get your breeder built, get your gold income sorted, get your blazes, get your spider eyes sorted, zombify them, cure them, work out your emeralds. How you're going to get your emeralds. That's the first 3-4 stages. Once you've got your emerald income, then we can start talking about specifics with these guys. And one of the guys I'd spend some time on is the librarian. So let's talk about the librarian. Librarians, they need a lectern. So as you can see, I've built a little room here now for them, so hopefully this will happen a bit quicker. Librarians, what are librarians good for? Well, enchanted books. So one of the first things I do is, after I've got my emerald generators, so my farmers and my clerics, or my farmers and my weaponsmiths, the iron guys, is I start looking at the librarians, because this way I can get my enchanted books. And the first book I like to get is mending. I then try and go for efficiency 5 and for unbreaking 3. They're the first 3 books I try and get. But how do I get that from him? Well, I place a lectern down in front of him, and he eventually picks up that lectern. He will open up his first trades. Hopefully he does that quickly. It's probably the wrong time of day. So let's change the time of day, because again, these things only happen at certain times of day, which is why it's sometimes useful to have a clock. Let's get a clock so we can see whereabouts the time is. Item frame. This is useful because in your survival worlds on your servers, you can't manipulate the world like I can. So you can see we're at kind of quarter of the way round. This is when they start, their work hours start. Very, very soon his work hours starts, and he picks up this lectern. So we will wait and come back when he's picked it up. Okay, there you go. And I was just looking to see what sort of time that was, so we can set the time to 2,500 each time. So he's now picked up the lectern. Didn't take too long. And what's his first trade? Frostwalker 1. But look at the price. 1 emerald and 1 book is all it costs to get the Frostwalker book, because we've done this. Normally this could be 6 books or 7 books. But really don't want Frostwalker. I really do want mending. So what do? I break that. He loses it. I place it back down. He will pick it up again quite quickly because he's still in work hours. Make it so, Mr. Villager. I don't want to pick up this workstation. Come on. What's the time? I did a time set 2,300. Hopefully it will then get back round to the time where he'll pick that up. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Eventually. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's right there. Just there. Ah! This is one of those processes that is very, very grindy, but well worth it. I can just see that he's just picked that up now. I saw the little things appear. So he's picked that up, and now he's giving aqua affinity. Don't want that. I want mending, or unbreaking 3, or efficiency 5. He's already picked it up. Infinity for 1 book. Trading paper. Don't want that. I want mending. I want unbreaking. So we wait again. Like I said, a rather grindy process, but well worth it, because you'll get very cheap books and you'll get all of the things you need. So this is one of the, not the first things I do in a world, but I really want to get to this stage very quickly in my worlds, because that means I can get mending on my tools and my armor, I can get unbreaking, I can get efficiency, and then you start thinking about what you really need in your worlds. Aqua affinity, respiration for your helmet so you can breathe underwater and do that treasure hunting. All sorts of the enchantments you get from these books. It's just a matter of going through this grindy process of watching him changing, watching him changing, watching him changing. At the moment he doesn't have a trade. He will pick this up. Let's change the time again to try and speed it up. So we see the clock move. And it's normally around this sort of time that they start to do it. And it's 2 or 3 times in the day they do this. As long as you're quick enough, you can do it 3 or 4 times in a row. But we'll wait, and then I'll show you what to do to lock that trade in. Doopy-doo. Hello. Well, we're bored here now, aren't we? But we're safe. Zombies can't get us. This guy is safe. We can stand here, wait for him to pick up that. We only need 1 lectern to do this. You might need 5 or 6 lecterns to get your first 5 or 6 books, because you'll send these off to a trading hall. I'm not talking about trading halls in this video. I will do another video on trading hall designs, but there are many trading hall designs out there. But we need a trading hall so we can go in, keep these guys safe from the zombies. But he's not got a book this time. It's a bookshelf or paper, so we have to do it. Again, he's lost it, and he's not picked it up yet. So like I was saying, I'm not doing trading halls in this tutorial, but I will do a trading hall tutorial. Essentially this tutorial was about getting going with villagers, understanding the trading, what is good to do to start off with. So that emerald generator, thinking about what resources you have a lot of that you can generate emeralds from. Use the chart that I link in the description to think about that. If you've got an iron farm, the armourer, he's a great start. 1 iron ingot for 1 emerald, and you've got an infinite supply of iron. Do it. Farmers, really useful. Pumpkin and melon farms. So there's many options. You choose, but think about emeralds. How do I get emeralds? There are other ways. Raid farms can generate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stacks of emeralds. I haven't done raid farms yet. I might do on our survival series. Dad Survives Minecraft, but haven't done one yet. But they're a good way to get emeralds as well. So we've thought about getting emeralds. Now we're thinking about our librarians to get our books, and then we'll think about our weaponsmith maybe, or our toolsmith, because they give enchanted tools and enchanted armour. Might be very useful. Let's see what this guy's got. Quick charge 3. So if I wanted quick charge 3, I need some emeralds. Not many. I'll get a stack. And I need some books. Get a stack of them. Now I want to lock this trade in. Imagine this was my mending trade that I wanted. Okay, I want to lock it in. So I trade with him once. And that is now locked in. When I remove that, he does not lose. He does not lose what he's got. And he can still trade, but he can only trade until he runs out of those books. And because he doesn't currently have a workstation, he cannot refill it. I put a workstation back, little green sparkles mean that he's picked up this as his workstation. So I could trade with him until he locks up. And then at the right time of day, he will refill from this workstation and I can continue to trade. And look what we got as the second trade with this guy. Silk Touch for 1 book. Thank you very much. I've now got Silk Touch on everything I need. Clearly you won't be able to cheat in the books and the emeralds like I just have. But that's what I do. I grind through these guys and I wait until I get Mending, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3. I then may go into the Armour, the Protection 5s or 4s, Fire Protection, the Aqua Affinity and Respiration for hats. But you need to think about how you play and what you want. What enchantments do you find most important? Well, there you have it. My guide to starting up villager trading. Let's have a quick recap. We talked about breeding. You need to set up a breeder, whether it's an infinite breeder, whether it's a manual breeder where you've got 2 guys and you just chuck food at them, but you need to have a breeder because you need lots of villagers. So get yourself a villager breeder set up. Follow my tutorial on that. I'll link it in the description and a card on here. Definitely, infinite villager breeder is a way to go. We then talked about zombification, because to get the best deals on your trades, you want to turn them into a zombie, then cure them. We talked about the stuff you needed to do the curing, so you've got to get your gold income sorted. You've got to have plenty of gold to start storing gold whenever you're mining. You've got to get some blaze rods because you need to get a potion brewing set up so you can make the weakness potion. You need some gunpowder so you can turn them into splash potions. You need spider eyes, you need sugar, you need brown mushrooms. Store that stuff, it's what you need. We then talked about these 13 guys, and there is a link in the description to a very good chart that shows you all of the trades. And we spoke about generating emeralds because that's what you need to trade with. And we talked about the way I do it, which is I tend to have a melon and pumpkin guy, and I tend to have the cleric to get the rotten flesh guy. So I can generate vast amounts of emeralds from 2 simple farms. The armourer, he's a good guy because he trades iron. If you've got an iron farm, use him. Then we spoke about, behind me over there, the librarian, and cycling through until you get the books you want by breaking his workstation and replacing it and doing that grind. It is well worth doing because you will get then an infinite supply of the books you want to put on your armour, to put on your tools, to put on everything you need. Simple, right? 3, 4, 5 steps to setting up villager breeding, villager trading. I haven't covered trading halls. Look for trading halls. I'll do a tutorial on that soon enough, I'm sure, because you'll need to set these. You'll need to send that guy off to a trading hall and then get your next guy in and go through this process. Hopefully you have found this very useful and informative. If you have, please hit the like button, leave me some comments, any ideas you have as well, any thoughts on villager trading at the beginning, how you do it, please do leave some comments. It's really good to read your comments. And I will be doing more tutorials as well on other things, so subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, you'll get notified of my content coming out and you can get to see it first. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Catch you all soon. Ta-ta for now.